Welcome, everybody. This is Brian Tarian from the Disability Digest. Philip and Daphne are with me, who are my trusted advocates that work here with me, helping our members get and maximize their disability benefits. So thank you, too, for taking some time out of your day today.
Good morning, everyone.
To join us. Yeah, for sure.
Good morning, everybody.
Right on. So I wanted to do this event because there's a lot of changes in the disability landscape for 2021, and to kind of package it all up and put it into this event today. So what we're going to cover is we're going to cover who qualifies, how to speed up the approval process, how to keep your benefits for those of you that are approved, and for those of you that are looking to supplement your disability. We'll talk about how much you can legally make, ways that you can pursue working, different opportunities that are out there. And then we're going to go over with Daphne some ways that you can maximize your benefits in 2021. And in advance of this, there were questions that were submitted, and we're going to have a Q&A at the end. You can ask any question you like, but I've taken all the questions on this enrollment sheet and I put them in categories, and I'm going to address them. The majority of those, I say majority, 60, 70% of those are individuals that have not been approved, and they have questions about crossing the finish line. Did I miss anything to cover today, Philip, Daphne?
No.
No? All right. So let's start with this. For getting approved, we're going to cover some key areas like who qualifies, what are some of the key things that you need to do. We'll actually show you some of the steps that you need to do. And Philip, who is here with us today, I don't know how many thousands of people you've talked to and guided them through the process, Philip, but a lot. So perhaps you can chime in on this today. So in advance, for those of you that are new listening to this, the Disability Digest, we offer a free membership resource. That's this graphic that's up on the screen. And our focus here is to help people with the membership use the resources that we have to go through and get approved. Once you're approved, we want to adjust your membership so that we're no longer sending you information and guidance to get approved. And we'll now help you keep your benefits and maximize your benefits. So it's free. We operate like a radio or a TV station where we have ads and sponsors and services that we provide you. But I mean, our business isn't even set up to take any credit cards. So there's no money that you can like send. Well, you could send us money if you want, but that's not our business. So it's a service to do that. And there's different levels of service that you'll learn about here, where you can actually get in touch with somebody directly, personally, going through the approval process. And then once you're approved, you can have somebody that you could work with even on an annual basis to keep in touch with you about your benefits. So you'll learn all about that today. So who qualifies? So Philip, I don't want to put you on the spot on this one, but this is like, I'm looking at these questions here, and you can pass if you want, but I'll take one here. Somebody says, I have chronic pain, RA, fibromyalgia, seizures, diabetes, hypertension, migraines, kidney disease, and I want to qualify for disability, right?
Yeah.
So is it the conditions that qualify for somebody for disability? That's where I'm going with this.
The conditions are based off of the ability or how they limit you from being able to work at work or even normal everyday activities at home. So the diagnosis, if it meets the Social Security Administration's list as a disability, yes, but there's always the but. You have to prove and explain why diagnosis keeps you from being able to do anything.
That's well said. So I drill down to that. I mean, you have diabetes. There could be you have diabetes and somebody else has diabetes, but the limitations from those diabetes could be different.
Yes, I mean, my diabetes caused, I am legally blind. I had kidney failure, I had a kidney transplant. It caused cardiovascular disease, which those three items, legally blind, it's hard to, it was impossible for me to find a job that in my profession, I was a carpenter for 35 years. Eyes are very important. The high blood pressure or the cardiovascular keeps me from being able to walk more than 5 or 6 feet without having to sit down and rest for 15, 20 minutes. And the kidney failure, of course, the transplant puts me on anti-rejection medicines that also have a lot of side effects. So that's what we try. That's what I try to explain to all members when I call them and they list this 4-foot-long list of diagnosis. Okay, well, how does that keep you from being able to do anything?
Yes, very well said. So, and if for those of you that are listening, if you note what Philip said about limitations is, the visual limitations, the ability to walk, those limitations, and I'm sure the combination of those has some type of limits your energy to some degree. So, so that's it. So when we're talking about who qualifies, it's really the limitations. The premise of a disability case is one needs to have the conditions, of course, that's part of it. And they need to be treated by a doctor. And those conditions have put limitations on you that if you're under 50, you need to prove that you can't do any job, like a greeter at Walmart, ticket taker at a movie theater. Or if it's somebody that's over 50 and has had a long career, Philip, good example. If you've had 15 or more years in a career and you're over 50, then there could be an argument built that you are not able to do your type of work. So that's the real general, short and sweet criteria. So one tip that I always encourage people to start with when they're going out on this venture of getting approved is to come up with how to express that you're disabled and not with the conditions like Philip pointed out, right?
Right.
Rather,
also, something that could help is sit down and write, one day, pick a day, from the time you get up in the morning to the time you go to bed, what you do and what you can't do is the important part.
Yep.
And list those, and that's a good start in proving your disability.
Right. So that's it. So as far as speeding up the process, I'm going to navigate over to the Disability Digest here and show you how we help people get approved. And so members have access to what I'm going to share with you. Let me just pull it over here for a minute and I'll be right back with you. And when somebody comes in, they register, they're a member here. Once we connect with them and find out where they're at in the process and kind of get their disability commercial set straight in a phone conversation, then we will get them access to our Social Security Disability Approval course that you're looking at on the screen. And this course teaches you what to do and what not to do to go through the process. And some people hear course and like, oh my God, I got to go back to school to learn how to use this thing. But we've tried to make it as simple as possible, and it's audio interviews and videos with industry experts. So you're looking at what I refer to as the index of the course, and so to help people speed up the process, in my 15 years of experience, the best way to speed it up is to do it right, okay? So these are some of the contributors to the course: Attorney John Ginsburg, Attorney Carl Osterhow, Barbara Mountain, who was an ex-Social Security case processor. And we have contributions from, in this course right now, I think I was over here, there's 69 different approval contributions that we have. And these are members that have gone through. Some have done it on their own, some have used attorneys, but they share different things that they have learned. 49-year-old, 41-year-old, different careers, different areas in the US. So it's all of that information put in here, and the experience that we've learned that will help people get through. So here's some of the core things that people are going to need, and I'm going to refer to this index, which is the first part of the course. Once you get going into the process, you are going to be, once you file your application, which is what the section 1 of this course does, you're going to be sent forms from Social Security Disability. And my experience with people that don't understand the importance of those forms, they just fill them out, take a, there is no real education that Social Security provides you to do it. But they just fill out those forms and they get them sent back and they put in there what they think is best. But what's in those forms are questions about what you can do on a daily basis around your house. Kind of what Philip was pointing out. And these are critically important because it's the answers that you put in these forms right here, this SSA 3373, which is your daily living questions, and then your SSA 3369, which is the what you have done for work. And what you're asked here and how you answer these, when you go to a hearing, hopefully you don't have to, but many do, it's the same questions, and the judge is rephrasing those questions to check your credibility, to check how you're communicating. And if you don't answer these right from the very beginning, then you're setting yourself up for a real challenge to get approved. So one of the things that we've done in the course is, this is an interview with Attorney Osterhow. He's helped over 25,000 people get approved. He takes us through, you put the forms out on your kitchen table and you just turn the video on, and question by question, he walks you through. So that's just one example of the work that we do here to help people get approved. We do the same thing for doctor support that's in this course, which is item number 2. You're going to be sent for a Social Security exam by one of their doctors to validate your medical records. Most people are. Same thing there. If you go to a hearing, we help you understand what the questions are, how they're going to be phrased. So if you want to speed it up, number 1 is do it right. There really isn't, I mean, am I missing the smoking gun out there? Philip, Daphne, you've been around this for a while. I don't know of any other,
No.
there's a dire need clause that they have, but it doesn't work.
Right.
So that is the key to speeding it up. All right, so for those of you going through the approval process, we've talked about who qualifies, how to speed it up. If you're a member here and maybe you've been sent the course and you're like, you know what, I need to have another look at that, you can definitely reach back out to us. Just reply to the email that you were sent for this event. If you're new joining us or going to join us, register, complete the information. You'll be given directions when you join us as to how you can get in touch with us. So we're going to change gears a little bit, and we're going to go on to supplementing your disability. I thought about this the other day. I think that the number 1 regulation that people need to know is how much money you can make and get your benefits and how much money you can make and keep your benefits. I think it's the most misunderstood. Anybody have a different opinion? So here's the situation. If you're going through the approval process, there is one part of the regulation where you can earn, at the time of this recording, it's $1,440, and go through and get approved. You know, Philip, what do you tell people that are working, going through the process, earning that type of money? Do you have a...
Yeah, I mean, the rule is that's what you can do, but it's extremely hard to get your case approved when you're earning. If you're earning anything,
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really hard to get you approved because Social Security says that, or their idea or their thought is, you know, if you can work and earn any money, then if you can get some other treatment, therapy, different medications, different or job may help. If you're working and the people you're working for may be able to help you out with different accommodations during the day. Maybe you can put in some more hours and earn more money and support yourself.
Right, right. Yeah, and I must confess, I made a mistake. It's not 14, whatever I said, it's 1310. So point is that, and Philip, thank you for that contribution.
It is a little more for blind people.
It is a little more, 2190 it says here.
Yeah.
So whenever somebody gives you information about Social Security, I always encourage people to go back to the regulation. What does it say on the Social Security website, right? So this is $1,310. Now here's where some of the confusion comes in. If you call Social Security and you say, well, how much can I make? And they might say $1,310. But if you're approved for disability and you're earning that much, it's going to cause problems. So I'll show you here on this website that we put together. There is one amount that I just shared with you that you can make when you're going through and applying, and then there is a second amount that you can make, which is right here, $940 a month once you're approved. So you'll see that this kind of scrolls down and looks at it. So, you know, for Social Security, I don't want to throw them under the bus here. They mean well, but maybe they misunderstand the question, or it's not asked right, or whatever it is. But just go by the regulation, and that's available on the replay here that you can come in, watch the video, go over and check it out. So now let's talk about that $910 a month for those of you that are approved for disability. And remember that I'm going to change that after. It's not 1440, it's 1310. So for $940, if you're already approved for disability, there's two different, I guess, subsets of that. If you are working a job where you are collecting a paycheck and having your taxes taken out, then it's the gross amount, equivalent to $940 a month. If you are doing something as a independent contractor or running your own business, then it's different. Then it's based on your tax return. And your tax return is all of your expenses that you have. You deduct that from your income, and that amount under $940 is what is going to be looked at. Now, for those that are approved for disability, there's a lot of like special write-offs. You can write off things like personal assistance, transportation, of course, the obvious traditional computer and phone and office equipment and all that stuff. So make sure that you maximize all of your potential write-offs there. Okay.
Again, if you're blind, that 940 is a little more.
Yeah. So what was it, 2000 and something?
It's been a while since I checked.
2190.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
That's if you're applying.
Yeah. I'm making another mistake. Boy, I tell you. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, it's I think it's 1,020.
Mm-hmm.
There's a program out there that you can volunteer. It's called POD through Social Security Administration. It's that
Okay.
work period, that 6-month work period. And I talk to them at least once a month, but the lady with the POD program told me it was 1,020 for blind.
Good.
I argued with her about it. I said, no, it says 940 on the website. She says, no, that's not right. It's for blind, it's 1,020.
All right. Be good to find that regulation. Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, on this 2B here, or not 2B, but it just made on 2B, I went through in 2020 and made note of some of the conversations I had with members about how they were supplementing their disabilities. So you can click on that and watch the video, and there's different things from driving Uber to small home-based businesses to babysitting to one of my favorite ones was a gentleman when he got disabled, he took some of his back pay and went out and bought this like really fancy lawnmower, and he had a small lawn. It took him maybe 10 minutes to do it. So his wife got annoyed with him because he spent all this money on this lawnmower. So he came up with this idea that he's going to start a lawn mowing service in his development. So went around to his neighbors and he undercut the other guy, and he's had 6-8 lawns, and that's what he was doing, riding around on his mower. So there's just different creative things that you can do. So check out that video. So Philip, I'd like to hear back from you and Daphne about any tips or advice for people that are disability recipients about working, that maybe things that you've learned or could help them maximize their chances of getting, back into the work mode.
Tips. Biggest thing is probably just get up and do it. I was thinking about that this morning. Mama used to tell me, use it or lose it. If you're not moving, doing something, if you're on disability, and I understand people are sick and there's certain conditions that limit them from being able to do anything, but there's something out there for everybody to find that they can do. And I strongly suggest that you do it, because sitting around doing nothing leads to depression. It leads to not being able to function. If you do get out of the house, and this last year and a half, we've all been stuck at home because of COVID. That's even worse, sitting around, having to be confined to your home, not being able to do anything is not good for anybody.
There's a lot of home jobs now.
Yes,
that people can do. So there's a variety of things that were not available more than a year ago that's available now because of COVID. So in a way, there are good things that come out of COVID when it comes to home jobs.
Yeah.
So I would just say, surf the website, the Google, go into different companies. We have one called NTI that you can look into and look for something to do.
Right. No, that's good advice. And, not everybody is geared up to work at home, but it certainly is conducive. The employment environment has warmed up to certainly working at home because they've had to, right? And shift work, which is meaning that there's 2 to 3 hours at a time of work that can be done. so that's it. I will, in my experience here, this business has been mostly run by our members who are disability recipients since 2007, when Dennis Berry started as the very first advocate. But what I've seen in a lot of individuals is, if you're not ready to work now but think you might be at some point in time, there is definite value in keeping your skills sharp. Because if you've been out for a bit and you come back in, I mean, we work here, we have a phone system online, we have a database where you go in and, we manage members and all of that. So it's teachable, but it could be a steep learning curve that could prevent you from doing something. And the same with as Daphne mentioned, our partner, a company that we partner with, NTI at Home, all they do for work is put people back to work that have limitations and disabilities. And, they see applicants come in that are super talented, but they're hitting that barrier with some simple technology stuff. So, get involved in Facebook groups, volunteer for a while, maybe find if you're not quite ready, there's, what's the word I want? Internships. There's internships are another way that people can kind of ease back into doing things. So stay tuned here for sure. Yeah. So that's good. Anything else to add to that, Daphne, Philip, about venturing out, doing some work? Yeah. All
Yes.
right.
I would just say that, whatever your disability is, try not to get anything that's going to go against your disability. Don't go into, if you have diabetes, don't go into a bakery shop and work.
Yeah.
Right.
So don't do that.
Don't do that. Right. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got to give a shout out to Philip. 32 years as a carpenter, right? Lost his vision, didn't have any online skills. I mean, if you overcome low to no vision and no online skills, and you've been able to make it work, then, good for you.
It was a challenge at first, but there's all sorts of apps and programs out there for your iPad, iPhone, your computer that help people with low vision.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to operate. So don't let that hold you back. I wouldn't let anything hold you back.
Yeah. So for looking for things to do, we talked about item 2B, what other people are doing, like their self-employment efforts. And we're always looking for people to add to our teams here. We have different levels of advocates, like Daphne and Philip work with our members to help them get their benefits, maximize their benefits. That's the work that we do here. You're going to learn more about that, maximizing in a moment. But if that's of interest, then item 2C, you can come on over and learn about it and complete an application. We have an orientation that we run periodically where you can come on in an environment like this, and you can actually get an understanding of what we do, what an advocate does, how you could start, how you could grow with the business, and helping people here. Our focus is to have some fun, make some money, and make a difference for people. So that's what that does. So you can check that out. So, okay, let's move on to Daphne, to some of the things that people can do to maximize their disability benefits in 2021. And I want to start with Medicare. And some of you that are not here, not approved yet, that are here or listening to the replay, when you get your disability benefits approved, what a lot of people do not understand is that you become Medicare eligible after you have been received 24 disability payments. So if you stopped working today and proved that you were disabled today, you would have a 5-month grace period where there's no entitlement, and then 24 months after that is when your Medicare would start. So maybe if you have a hearing coming up and you get approved at a hearing and you've been in the process for over 29 months total, you would be Medicare eligible right away, as an example, okay? So one of the things, Daphne, I want to turn this over to you, is people get approved and they have this Medicare A and they have Medicare B. Medicare A is free, Medicare B is not, and there's ways to reduce the Medicare B or eliminate the Medicare B. So can we start with that?
Okay. Well, one of the most important things that we do benefit reviews. And when we talk about a review, we want to look at your situation and try to uncover benefits that you are qualified for, but you're not using. So one things that I can remember in the past, and I want to use this as my example, is that I helped a young lady who had a very, very tight budget. She had such a tight budget that she would not go to the doctor because she was on original Medicare, which she had to pay the 20% to see her doctor, but she had no extra funds to be able to see the doctor. So once I uncovered the fact that she was on original Medicare, I put her in a plan, which is a Medicare Advantage plan, where she would be paying $0 for the premium. In the other plan that she was at with the original, she was paying for her medications. So there's a lot of things that was going on that she didn't know about. So with me moving her to the original Medicare, we were able to get her Part B premium paid for by the state. She qualified for that with her income level. So that was something that we checked in for her, and the state would be able to pay for that for her. That's at the time, that was like $135 at the time that we were doing it. But now it's like $148. Some of the plans out there will give you a portion of that back in your check. So that is something that we can uncover for a client. And then there was also, based on her income, she qualified for the Extra Help program, which helps you with your medications. So she was paying a premium every month for the Part D. Now she has some extra income coming to her for her Part D, because now she didn't have to pay for that premium anymore. So that was some extra funds right there that was uncovered for her.
Nice.
Now she could go to the doctor because we got her a $0 copay where she could go and see her primary care physician without worrying about having to pay a 20%. She had to put off getting glasses because she was just using the Dollar Tree glasses. So now she was going to be able to get herself a pair of glasses, decent glasses, because she had like a $300 credit that she could use for the glasses. She would now be able to go to the dentist because now she would be able to go for a $0 copay and get her teeth cleaned. So that's something that we uncovered for her. Over-the-counter benefits, we were able to get $50 a month for her credits so that she could use that to be able to purchase items such as toothpaste, cough medicine, vitamins, things like that. And she did not have a car, so we were able to get her transportation benefits.
Oh, wow.
So that was something that we uncovered for her. And so she, even though she didn't go to the gym, she qualified for the silver sneakers. So I convinced her, I said, most of them have pools. Why don't you just go and just do pool exercises? She thought that was a great idea. So those are the type of things that we can uncover for you when we do a benefit review. There's a lot more things out there that you may qualify for, but these are some of the most common ones that we look at.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent.
Whenever I finished with her, Brian, she and I were both crying. I mean, we were just crying. I worked in the call center at the time, and everybody looked at me and they wanted to know what was going on. And I said, I'll explain to you.
Yes. That's great. Yeah, I mean, when somebody goes out and, they become Medicare eligible, and they look at the plans, like there could be 50 plans in a different area, right? I mean,
Yes.
um, easy. And then, there's special plans if you have low income. Now, also have on the list here, one of the things is becoming more common is that people are entitled to access to special plans based on conditions staff needs. So could you speak to that for a moment?
Okay, that's the special needs plan.
Mm-hmm.
And special needs plans was really developed to be able to help people that had Medicaid, excuse me, they had Medicaid and Medicare. Okay, that's a dual plan. And with the dual plans, you get a lot of your copays paid for. There's a lot of things on there that's $0 copay within those plans because it's geared to helping people out. I was in a seminar this morning for Care Plus, right? And I found out that they have one thing that most of the places or providers don't have. They have an internal social services department. And what they do is you can basically refer a client to get approved right then and there. Not right then and there, but go in and put in the documentation to get approved for Medicaid. And it takes about 5 to 7 days for you to know whether that person got approved for Medicaid. And that's something that I thought was very, very good.
I want to make sure I get this. So if somebody is, which I have somebody like that now, they're not approved for Medicaid, but they're on Medicare, you can bring them back through like Care Plus or another provider and they'll do the application?
Care Plus right now is the only one that I know that's doing that. They have their own internal social service department and you would refer your client over. You do a 3-way with them and the social service department would take the application on the phone and put it through Medicaid for them. And within 5 to 7 days, they would know whether they were approved or not.
Wow.
So that's a special needs plan for dual, that's Medicaid and Medicare. And then there's the chronic one, which is basically you have to have chronic disease such as diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease, something like that, where you can get your, you can get in a special plan for that. And you have your plan worked out for you, which, or you have certain specialists that you can see within that plan that will help take care of your situation. So a lot of those are $0 copays as well.
Okay.
I have that myself.
Excellent. Excellent. And so, and just for those veterans that are out there, whether you're just using the VA for your treatment or you have TRICARE for life, there's extra benefits that you can layer on top of that, of which Daphne mentioned. So we'd be glad to help you with that as well, for sure. So that's super. So we talked about saving that Medicare Part B premium, some of the extra benefits that people are entitled to. And this is a pretty fluid environment, Daphne. It's changing frequently, right? So, like, what do you suggest for people that want to stay on top of this, and make sure they're getting all they're entitled to?
I would suggest that they call us and get a benefit review done.
Yep.
You're very qualified that we can work with our clients and see exactly what they may qualify extra. The good thing about the program is that you can take certain plans within that zip code and do comparisons and see exactly which one of them give the most amount of benefits for that client, right? That client may be on one plan, but that client may not know that this other plan, Medicare Advantage plan, has many more benefits than the one that they're on. So we can look at that as for them. So it is always good that plans are constantly changing, right? So every year plans change. So don't just get stuck on the fact that, oh, I'm already with such and such provider. I already have the best with such and such provider. There's no such thing as the best out there. It could be the most cost effective, but something may change. And then you have the opportunity every year to look at what changes are out there.
Right, right. Like I know, Philip, you went through a situation where, you know, you had a fantastic plan and then the rug got pulled out from underneath you.
Yeah.
And you had to make a move, right? Like
Yes.
quick.
Quick.
So yeah, which that was a unique situation, but no, that's well said, Daphne. So stay on top of it. It's like anything else, especially with, you know, with your disability and disability benefits blended in with Medicare, the combination of the two is there's always different things that are going on. So that's great. I'm going to move on down now. I'm going to do this in a different order. I'm going to go through some of the questions and then I'm going to come back up with like some of the things that you can do moving forward. So first of all, I put down here some of these are the frequently asked questions that people usually ask us, and we put them in our FAQ. It's just some sort of scam. Well, I don't think so. I mean, we do have an A+, a Better Business Bureau rating, and it's been that way. We've had 2 people complain. I'm actually surprised it's only been 2, but it's only been 2, so you can check us out there. And we don't sell anything. We provide guidance and service with the disability approval course and a strategy and a benefit review. If you're in a hurry, you can call us. The number's on this page. You know, try to get back to you within a day. We've been doing this for, see, in June 26th, it'll be our anniversary. We started in 2006, and so there's like right now a little more than 163,000. So those are some of the frequently asked questions that we get. Now I'm going to go through the ones that members had here. And I've color-coded these, as I mentioned. The orange ones are for those that are approved and have questions about supplementing their disability. The red ones are those that are looking to get approved. And the green are like maximizing benefits type questions. So I'm going to jump around to some of these. I'm not going to cover them all. But like there's one up here that says, I'd like a lawyer to refile. Well, you can get a lawyer to refile. But I do want you to know that a lot of the work that's really important at the initial application is we can definitely show you what to do. Like I mentioned, how to fill out those forms. There's a lot of attorneys out there that most of them still provide very, very low, if any, support for you at the initial application phase. So you're welcome to use another attorney and use our course as well, but don't just hire an attorney and say, you know, set it and forget it. They've got it all. What we encourage you to do is to take the course and learn from the course what needs to be done. And if you don't want to do any of it, then make sure you hold them accountable. Have them help you fill out the forms, send them back and look at the directions and see if they're filled out properly, okay? So just one really important tip there. I need to know if I qualify. So this is an interesting one. This gentleman has been out of work since 2012, right? And Philip, when you look at this, somebody been out of work since 2012, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
They're probably out of their, what's called their insurability date, not enough work credits to qualify.
Yep. Yep.
Unless they have filed previously and were denied, maybe, but hard to say until you can speak with them and find out what their work history is.
Right. So that's perfect. And for all of you listening out there, when people come and register here at the Disability Digest looking for their disability income, 28% of them right away don't qualify because they haven't worked enough over the last 10 years. As a general rule, if you've worked 50% or more of the last 10 years, then you would qualify for a check. That's if you've paid your taxes. So what happens with people is they get in a situation where their health causes them to decline in employment, and they might go to part-time and then down to low time. And during that, what that's going to do financially is it just drags down your check. And I respect the fact that people are, maybe they think they can go back to work. They want to try to go back to work, but you do need to clearly understand that after 5 years, your opportunity to get a disability check goes away. And if you're not able to work and go back and bring that work history back up, then you don't have access to any Social Security income until if you do take an early retirement at age 62. So please make note of that. If you know other people that are in this situation, this is its own pandemic in the disability world out there. So anything you can do to spread the word or prevent it. Here's another one. Somebody here has zero income getting medical care at the early stage or any stage to get approved, right? Here's the deal. Daphne just went through a situation with somebody that was approved and helped, but if you're out of work and you don't have any income and you have to pay to go to the doctors and you need to see the doctors to get approved, like, what do? Right? So one of the things that we can help you with is in just about any area in the U.S., there's low-cost, no-cost clinics that work on a sliding scale that you can get into, and it might not be the most desirable treatment, but you do need to satisfy the fact that your treatments, you're getting treatment for your conditions and that they're not getting better and you have limitations. So if you go through the process and you're not seeing doctors, really hard to get approved unless you have like something that doesn't require treatment, right? Like Philip, in your situation, or maybe others that have visual impairments that I know, there's no treatment for it. It's just, it is what it is. So that's a different situation. But if you have like a self-reported condition, like a fibromyalgia or chronic pain or RA, like these up here, you're going to need to have those treated.
Fibromyalgia is considered one of the invisible diseases.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can't see on an x-ray, so that treatment to a rheumatologist is going to be critical, or even just your general practitioner, just at least once every 3 months. Even if it's just to go in and complain if he doesn't treat you, but at least you're on record as going and trying to get treatment.
Well said.
Brian, most areas do have free clinics, and you just got to search it out. You've got to Google it, search it out. There are even hospitals where you can go in. You might stay there for a long time, but you'll be able to get the service for free.
Yep.
So you just got to do something to make sure that you're documenting the fact that you've gone to the doctor.
Yep. Yeah, we work with the Centers for Independent Living here. They've been the best resource. So when somebody comes through, we find their local Center for Independent Living, which is a government-funded organizations that are run by seniors and disabled to service the same population. And they are definitely in the know about what's available. So if a self-directed search is not something that works, then, we can help them in that way. But,
they're not going to come to your front door and knock to do an evaluation on you.
No.
Every once in a while, you'll do a review. You'll have to do a review if you're on disability.
Mm-hmm.
And they may send you to their doctor. Well, even at initial application, there's a good chance you may be sent to see their doctors to do an evaluation. And that's a whole nother story in itself there, because in my experience, when I applied, it was a visit to a doctor that just a general practitioner, wasn't even an eye doctor specialist.
Mm.
And the whole exam lasted about 10 minutes, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you gotta stay involved yourself. You gotta get involved yourself. You gotta get off that couch.
Right on. Here's another interesting one. I've been pain all over 10 years. Went to the rheumatologist, and she said fibromyalgia is not listed as a disability. So I have two things to say about doctors and disability. For the most part, my experience has been doctors don't understand the disability approval process. One. Two, they don't understand what your day, week, month, year is like when you go for your 12-minute visit. So you need to filter out what they say. Like in this comment, Social Security has a specific regulation where they recognize fibromyalgia. And, you know, what this person heard is just flat out wrong. So many people will say, well, I'm going to go ask my doctor if they think I qualify for disability. You can do that, but if they say yes or they say no, it doesn't mean it's right. Right. So only you as an individual know what you're, you know, capable of. Like Philip said, write down your limitations. So that one stood out. I got a few more I want to go through here. What can I have for assets while on SSDI, property, cash, self-employment? So you can have an unlimited amount of assets. It's not for Social Security disability. It's not asset related. It is the inability to work is what qualifies you. Now, there's another program called SSI or welfare, which is a little bit of money and Medicaid versus Social Security disability, which is your Social Security disability check and Medicare. They're two different programs. The welfare one that I'm mentioning, that is asset related and income related. Okay. So this one was from Elizabeth, and she's one of your fellow folks in Texas, Philip. And she actually, I looked at her membership information. So she wanted to know what opportunities and what am I missing out on? And I just went and took a quick look. And, you know, so in that area, and there are programs where she could actually, if you're paying for your Medicare Part B, Elizabeth, where there are programs in your area where you could get that reduced. They just took a real quick look at one of the possible benefits, not knowing what you're on or your situation or your conditions or your household income or any of that. So that was just one example. Okay, so we talked about how much money you can make without losing your benefits. There's one in here about keeping your benefits, which is, right here, which is the last one I want to go over. I've seen some people make some really, I'll just say questionable moves and lose their benefits, right? And it's usually two things that do it. One is they work and they earn too much and they don't understand how much you can make and keep your benefits. That's one. Two is they stop getting treatment, right? So for anybody who's been approved for disability, you receive an award letter. And on that award letter, it will say what your scheduled review is going to be. And the percentage of disability reviews has been going up. It went up quite significantly in the Trump administration because it was successful in the Obama era. And so how to prevent this, knowing that it could possibly happen to you, is just look at your award letter and then find out, well, okay, this is when I expect to be reviewed. That'd be good to know. And you need to treat your disability benefits when you're on them the same way, in my opinion, as you did when you were going through to get approved. And if you've been through the approval process with us, you understand how to talk to your doctors, communicate your limitations, like how much you can sit, stand, bend, stoop, squat, lift, all that stuff on an ongoing basis. Every visit, bring in a piece of paper and communicate your limitations. Stay in your treatment. Do all your treatment, follow the directions so that you satisfy that you have those conditions are treated and you still have limitations, right? Daphne mentioned a program called Silver Sneakers. There's this whole being the best you that you can be concept that if you're doing your treatment and you're doing other things to improve yourself, that really puts a lock on your benefits. Like using your Medicare Advantage plan, the silver sneakers or other benefits in there, to go in and get into water therapy or stretching and flexibility or any other classes that you can take that would help you out. Mm-hmm. So it's really as simple as understanding your benefits and staying in treatment and being the best that you can be. That will keep your benefits, right?
I talked to a member day before yesterday that was approved. I called her for a Medicare review, and she hadn't been to a doctor in over a year. Ooh. And I explained to her just what you said. I said, you better get to the doctor today. You better call today and get an appointment and start going back if it's just mm-hmm. once a month, because you're going to get a review probably mm-hmm. this week or next week. They're coming up pretty quick.
Yep.
And if you hadn't seen a doctor in over a year, they're going to dump you quick.
Yeah. First thing they do is look at your medical records. So, mm-hmm. yeah. No, that's good advice for sure. Okay, so I don't see that there's any questions in the queue here. So I'm checking. And okay. Great. So just a few things before we wrap up that we can help you with. If you're a member here or as you join us as a member, make sure that if you're just joining us, that you confirm your email, your membership email, so we can get the specific information through to you. So that's one, read your email. Thank all of you for attending that read the email to do this. If you have questions and you're a member here, you can reach out to us at support@thedisabilitydigest.com. Just, with your question, that's fine. I definitely suggest, if you want to totally be in the know, is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And the reason for that is when you join us as a member here, you get information that's specific to your needs. Maybe that's housing, jobs, getting approved, maximizing your benefits. But there's all of the other very high-level information that we put out on the YouTube channel and lots of success stories that maybe were not profiled in your membership. Like recently, we did a whole educational series that followed the stimulus checks, how much you're going to get, when you're going to get it. And then there's testimonials that we have here, the number one regulation that you should be aware of. So if you subscribe to it, you can look at a video if it's relevant, pass on if it's not, but it will definitely help you stay in the know for sure. So that's another tip that we have here. I lost my place. Oh, here we are. So YouTube channel. And then the next thing is, if you reach out to us to help you get or maximize your benefits and you have a working relationship with us, especially if we are working with you to manage your Medicare plan. It's a total no-cost service, but you'll have access to us annually, because if you are working with us on a benefit review, we want to review that every year so we make sure you're on the best plan. So that is one easy way for you to stay current on all of your benefits, is to just simply work with us, because there might be something that happens with your disability. Maybe you don't want to work now, but you do want to work later, and you're looking for a place to work, and we can help you with that. Or you want to know about housing, which we didn't talk about a whole lot here, but maybe you need some money for housing, and so you need to kind of shift some of your expenses or loosen up some of your disability check. And like the example that Daphne had, she found, I don't know if it was $40 a month for that individual in shopping credits. So it's always, so the blend of your disability benefits and that and working with us is where we can definitely make a difference for you. So next is, as you listen to this, if you want to go through, you still need help getting your benefits, or you want to maximize your benefits, there's a green button here. You just click on it. It'll bring you over to a form. You can fill it out. Tell us what is your most pressing need, and we'll do the very best we can to solve it. So Philip, Daphne, in closing, I thank you for joining in the show here today and lending your wealth of knowledge to everybody.
Enjoyed it.
Yep, appreciate that. And for all of you that are listening out there live and to the replay, thank you for placing your trust in us to help you with your disability benefits. So there's a large part of me that really, really wishes I didn't need to do this work and the system was fine. But unfortunately, it's not the case. And helping folks get approved and helping squeeze every last dollar that they're entitled to is the work that we do, and glad to do it. So, all right. Make it a great day, everybody. Until the next time. Thanks again, Philip. Thank you, Daphne.
Okay. Take care, Brian. Take care, Philip.
You too, Daph. Bye-bye.